While there is still no word on a cure for the virus, government officials report the virus is not airborne, but can be transferred through contact with blood and other bodily fluids. The virus seems to be making people uncontrollably violent, and also somehow seems to be reanimating the dead. When asked, a White House spokesman declined to comment on whether or not this was a terrorist attack. Due to the violent nature of the ones infected, the virus is spreading rapidly. Government officials are reporting that there is no known cure for the virus, and is urging citizens to stay in their homes and avoid contact. Citizens are also urged to lock and barricade all doors, windows, and any other point of entry. Riots nationwide are prompting local governments to declare martial law. The president is asking that citizens find safety and remain calm. Authorities are working on a plan to contain the outbreak.
Hey guys! So starting off, I'm going to throw my liquid latex on the floor. Didn't mean to do that, was shaking it up and it fell. So starting off, I'm just going to use a cosmetic wedge and put a layer of liquid latex down. Now you could sketch out how you want the wound to be, or you could just freehand it like I did. Then I ripped up some tissue paper and put it in the center of the liquid latex. And then went over with another layer of liquid latex, and then kind of went around the edges just to blend it out and make sure there was no edges to the wound, if that makes sense. Now this part may seem kind of pointless to some people, but I'm kind of thinking, you know, you're out and about running some errands and then boom, a zombie bites you. And so obviously you might have a little bit of makeup on, so I just put a little bit of tinted eyebrow gel in my eyebrows, obviously. And then I put on some eyelid primer and some face powder just because I wanted things to blend out easier, because I'm going to be using matte eyeshadows and I didn't want things to crease, because I figured if my eyeshadows crease then it's going to look like I have eyeshadow on and then it's not my actual skin. And then I just applied like the tiniest bit of mascara, and it kind of worked out nicely because when I put the contacts in at the end, my eyes watered and it made my mascara run. That's pretty much what it would look like in real life if you were a zombie like that. Then I took some bright red eyeshadow and some burgundy eyeshadow, and I used those two colors and put them all over my eyes. So I'm just using my Real Techniques buffing brush just to buff that all out around my eyeballs. And I ended up darkening up my makeup a little bit afterwards off camera, just because I always forget that the flash and the lights and everything washes everything out so you can't see the makeup as well. And then using mostly just the bright red eyeshadow and going underneath my eyelids and then on top of my eyelids just to make them look even more sore and red. And I just took some matte purple eyeshadow and put that on my inner corners and on my dark circles, I guess. Then I just took like the tiniest bit of black eyeshadow to put into the sockets of my eyes. I have to put the black shadow just a little bit above the sockets in my eyes, just because my eyelids are like the slightest bit hooded, so if I didn't do it that way, then you wouldn't be able to see it at all. I would just touch it on the eyeshadow once before I applied it to my lids. Because I mean, these eyeshadows that I have are extremely pigmented, but I mean, I paid $40 for the eyeshadow palette, so I would hope that it was pigmented. And then going over and just buffing everything out to make sure there's no harsh lines. And I just slightly contoured my nose with some black eyeshadow just because I'm not the best at contouring my nose. But I kind of wanted to give that effect that it was like a little bit slimmer and I was a little bit skinnier and everything. And then using the same black eyeshadow to hollow out my cheekbones and temple and kind of make my jawline look a little bit thinner. And be careful when you do it on your jawline, just because it's black eyeshadow. If you go a little too heavy with it, it could start to look like you have a bit of a 5 o'clock shadow, and we don't want that. I mean, unless you want to look like you have a beard, then go right ahead and do that, but I wasn't going for the beard look. Please be extremely cautious when doing this, but I'm just using some tweezers to first rip up the latex a little bit. And then going in with some scissors to cut that a little bit more. It's very, very easy to cut yourself, so please, please, please be extremely careful on this step. I've done this many a times and luckily have not cut myself, and I can hear my grandmother screaming at her computer screen, and don't worry, I was very careful. And I did speed up this clip, so I was not moving that quickly. I was actually moving pretty slow and being very careful. So just keep ripping at it and pulling at it to the point where it looks like someone came over and took a chunk out of your shoulder, basically. Next, I took the same black eyeshadow and used that just to kind of contour my neck and my collarbone and my chest a little bit, and even just to kind of dirty it up a little bit, because my chest looked really super clean compared to my messy zombie looking face. You guys want to know something really weird about me? On this side of my chest, right there, that's an extra bone in my chest, I think. And so that made it difficult to contour my chest on the other side, just because the extra bone's there and on the other side it's not. It freaks people out when I show them, and it's really funny. That's why it's a little uneven, my contour on my chest, really. Just thought I'd tell you guys that. My dog just stretched and it was really cute, but you can't see him. Sorry. Then taking an eyeshadow brush that you don't care about and some red cream face paint, I'm just going in that wound on my shoulder and just filling it in to create a darker base. Also, I made a wound on my forehead, but just kind of ignore that because I end up not liking it and taking it off, so that's why I didn't show you guys it anyway. I have one on the side of my face too, but it gets covered up in blood, so you can't really tell that it's there. Oops. Can you tell it's been a while since I dressed up like a zombie? And then I just took a really thin brush, which is actually from the craft store, and some purple cream face paint, and just drew these little veins coming out of the wound because I thought it looked kind of cool, like I had this like disease running through my veins or something. But I wish I would have done a little more, but at this point my camera was dying, so I was really worried that I wasn't going to get the rest of the footage. But I kind of wish it would have gone up my chin a bit, you know, up my cheeks. So if you're doing this, then keep that in mind. And next I just filled that in with some scab blood, and this is my first time using scab blood, and I really liked it because it added a nice thick bloody base. Then I took a foundation brush and just kind of splattered blood all over my face, but please be careful because the splattering process is a very messy process, and I got some on my wall. Luckily it came off. Just be careful not to get it on anything important, really. And I kind of just messed up my shirt as I went along too, because I wanted to just look super bloody and gross. And then I just poured some in and let it drip down and just went crazy with the blood, because I mean, you can go crazy at this point. I mean, you're a zombie, you're bitten, you know. Obviously you're gonna bleed a lot. Well, not when you're a zombie, but before you turn into a zombie, really. next, since I didn't have any mouth safe blood and I wanted to look like, you know, I've been eating people and everything, I just took some red and some black lipstick and just smudged it all around my mouth, just so I could put the blood around the border of my mouth and not actually around my lips and everything, so then I wouldn't risk getting it in my mouth. And then you can either leave the look like this, or if you have contacts, then you can add them in. And these are really freaking cool contacts. I love them so much, and it was my first time wearing contacts like this. It was pretty exciting. Anyways guys, I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe for future videos, and I will see you guys very, very soon. I love you. Bye! Answer all your questions about my YouTube channel, and if you have any more questions about my YouTube channel, then now would be the time to ask them, because I've kind of learned a lot of things on my years of being on YouTube.
Leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And